All right. In the transition from child to adulthood, many college students mark this with financial independence from their parents. However, they're not equipped to make these decisions on their own and often overcompensate for their lack of financial knowledge. By introducing children to financial education sooner in middle school or high school, many students would be better equipped to make these decisions and accumulate less debt. U.S. and Hollywood culture has created a materialistic society in which personal, familial, and position reputation no longer matter, and positions of power go to those who pay the most money. Pushed by the status, students no longer consider long-term consequences of accumulating debt and making purchases, and therefore set themselves up for failure. This problem has three issues. Status by ownership, which is the possession and purchasing of many items that signify this status, such as clothes, cars, and other items. Compulsive buying is also an issue. This is the purchase of items in regards to the negative feelings experienced by many college students, such as anxiety and depression. The college experience also socializes the use of debt and encourages credit cards through university measures and the targeting of college individuals by credit companies. These credit cards are the #1 facilitator of debt in college students. They've become a social norm and encourage the amount of debt and encourage students to spend more than they have. Credit cards also create an insensitivity to price and delay the impact of spending on these students by making it so they only see what they spend once a month. Robert and Jones argue that individuals are more likely to spend more when using credit cards or when exposed to a credit card image near a purchasing area. Compulsive buying is a temporary resolution for negative events or feelings and often is used by college students on shopping sprees when they cannot afford it, just to feel a small amount of happiness for a moment. Materialistic media consumption, such as shows and television and movies that show power through these items as well, exacerbates the problems. This is significant because it ignores long-term financial consequences, and bad credit often leads to difficulty in the procurement of larger items such as cars and houses in the future, and students do not understand this impact. This debt also leads to higher stress and has been linked to lower academic performance and higher dropout rates. As a solution, we should encourage financial education earlier in life. The transgenerational effect is also important. The transgenerational effect is the discussion of money and credit and spending with parents, and often students who discuss their spending habits and credit cards with their parents tend to accumulate less debt as well. Students also overstate their financial competence and believe that they are making wise financial decisions when they don't have the information necessary to make these. Christina Stoddard and Carly Urban have determined that students are more likely to apply for financial aid, grants, and scholarships, and less likely to carry a credit card balance when they are exposed to financial education earlier and when they discuss their financial status with their parents. Williams and Omlo provide a framework for college universities to implement a education class for the education of college freshmen in financial information and teach the students how to manage their money earlier on. This framework allows for an adaptation to the individual students of the college based on region, as there are differences in spending habits in the different regions. Another solution to this problem is to address the behaviors and attitudes between students and debt. There is a high correlation between a power and achievement attitude and overspending. Individuals who believe that money equals power or achievement tend to spend more and worry less about the long-term consequences. By increasing financial education, addressing the attitudes, and better understanding the decision-making process for financial information, students will be less likely to carry debt and create issues in their own future. If we do implement this early, we can decrease overall debt in the economy, decrease anxiety and depression in students, and lower the dropout rate, possibly also increasing performance of these students while in school. Without implementing earlier financial education and allowing students to continue to make the bad decisions, we will increase the dropout rate, increase anxiety and depression related to these numbers, and contribute to an overall economic deterioration from students who are unable to pay their debt that they have accumulated. The number of defaults and debt has also risen in recent years. In conclusion, the problems of the ownership of status products, compulsive buying, and the socialization to debt usage have created large issues in our economy and continue to plague college students. These are caused by credit cards, a temporary need for a resolution of negative feelings, and materialistic media consumption. If we do not address this, students will continue to ruin their credit and have issues in the long term. They also will have higher stress and lower academic performance. As a solution, financial education and the addressing of behaviors linked to this will allow students to be more financially able to make the decisions necessary. The anxiety and stress can be prevented, and students can have a future as long as they learn how to properly manage their money.